بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم
शुरू अल्लाह के नाम से जो रहमान और रहीम है।
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق
पढ़ो ए नबी अपने रब के नाम के साथ जिसने पैदा किया।
خلق الإنسان من علق
जमे हुए खून के एक लोथड़े से इंसान की तख्लीक की।
اقرأ وربك الأكرم
पढ़ो और तुम्हारा रब बड़ा करीम है,
الذي علم بالقلم
जिसने कलम के जरिए से इल्म सिखाया।
علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم
इंसान को वो इल्म दिया जिसे वो न जानता था।
Assalamu alaikum. We start our class in the name of Allah, most beneficent and the most merciful. Welcome to all students and parents in this academic session 2020-21. In this session, we are going to learn all about English language text. I am English language text teacher. Here, we are going to introduce the book that we are going to learn in this session. The book is Step Ahead 3. This is incredible book for learning English, especially to grow your skills of reading, writing, even your conversational skills. In this book, especially I have to introduce the writer who wrote this book. This book is written by Robin Mann. He is a very famous writer around the world. Now, I am going to tell you something about the copy work or how you are going to maintain your copy. First of all, you have to understand this is the copy that you have already been provided by the school, and in this copy, first of all, you will see the front cover. Front cover, you will write the name, class, section, subject, roll number. After that, when you will turn on the page, you will find inside the basic information page. You will see the basic information. You will fill all the basic information as given on that page. After that, you will turn it on and then you will find index. Index is very much important. Whatever you are writing, according to the solution as teachers material that you have been given, you will find in that. So in that you will put down the date and the work, the material that you will be doing, and the page number that you have mentioned in your copy that you have to write down. After that, you will turn on the page and new pages, and you will find the first page. The first page means that you have to mention the week number. The week number is very much important, that you are having your week number 1, 2, 3 or whatever. So we are talking about week number 1. In this week number 1, you have to mention here the week number 1, and then after turning on this page, you will make up the title page of your unit. This is very much important for you. The unit title, whatever the subject or whatever you are learning, like for example unit 1, so you have to mention unit 1 and the name of that unit 1 that's mentioned over here, contemporary realistic short stories. Make it colorful so the illustration may look very nice to you and to the teacher as well. Maybe you are being given the good marks by the teacher for that as well. Okay, so let's talk about the unit 1 that we are going to learn in this week number 1. So we start week number 1, day 1 work. It is concerned with contemporary realistic short stories. First of all, we have to understand what are the contemporary realistic short stories. We know very well about that. In our daily life, in our present life, we face a lot of situations, and every situation has its own story. So whatever the stories that are concerned with our present life, called contemporary short stories. Especially the short stories means that very short incident or anything that happened in your life that you are expressing, that is called contemporary short story. Contemporary short stories may have 4 important parts. You can write easily by yourself if you understand these 4 parts. This is the very important part, introduction. For every story, whatever you are writing, but especially I'm talking about the contemporary short stories. The introduction is very much important. If you are writing introduction in contemporary short stories, so you have to understand that you have to create some sort of interest to the reader. If the reader is having interest, so you must be having successful story in that. So in introduction, what you need to be doing, first of all, you have to mention the characters, which type of characters are being used in that story, and after that you have to mention that what are the places in that you are going to use in them. I mean, you have to put in the story that the reader could have some sort of interest in that. And after having brief introduction, giving proper knowledge that is going to be discussed in the story, then you will create some sort of plot in the mind of the reader. After that, you will talk about rising action. What is rising action? In every story of contemporary stories, what happens? Some complications, problems come up. It is very much important for the reader. When you are creating some suspense or complex situation, so readers definitely take interest in that. Especially like, for example, if something that happened, like any incident, any sort of occurrence that happened with the characters. So readers take interest in a way like, what are the problems exactly happened, what are the issues exactly happened, and what are the series of issues maybe. So these things, the problems or complex situations called rising actions. In a story, rising actions play a tremendous role, because this is something that creates in a reader interest. One after one, if you are putting some complex situations in the story, or situations are coming and then you are going for the solution for that in the end, then it comes with the interest for the reader. After rising action, climax. Climax is very much important, because climax is the turning point of the story. Means when any complex situation took place in a story, after that, what is the climax? A reader always thinks about, then what happened next? So he goes for the climax. Climax is the turning point in the story. Any situation that took place, after that situation, the climax comes. In every movie, you know very well, the climax is there, most interesting part of the story. In that, what happens? How the complex situation, how that problem is going to be solved, and what happens exactly, what is exactly the turning point in that. So this is called climax, that we will be learning in upcoming days. After climax, the resolution. Resolution means the solution of the problems, the situations, whatever the complex situation that the characters have faced, they have their turning point. After turning point, the solution, the resolution is there. In that resolution, you are having tremendous end of the story. That, that is very much important. A reader that goes through introduction, then climax, or then rising action or complex situation, after that climax, then resolution, the story becomes great to the reader. Sometimes what happens, these kind of stories play remarkable role in reader's life, that for years he remembers the story just because of the rightly use of climax, resolution, or rising action, or introduction. These are the important roles in your story. So this is something that you will be learning in unit number 1 of a step ahead. In this unit, you can see here, it is something that's been given in that contemporary realistic short story, that I have explained all about that. And now we are going to talk about overviewing. It is all about something that I have told that happens in the short story, and you can just think about this. And even one more thing, it is also very much important. What are the structures used in making short stories or contemporary short stories? These are very much important. The structures that I've told you, it is also called the features of contemporary short stories. introduction, rising action, climax, resolution. After that, the language is very much important. What the language that you are going to be using in that. So the language that's been given in that, mostly the past tense is used to write these stories. Past tense plays very important role to write these stories, and after that you have to use sometimes future present tense or future simple tense as well. These are very important in that. And first person singular or first person plural, both are very much important in that. If you are just using the language, this is very much important in that. Action verbs, proper verbs, the verbs which are very much important, use them. Don't use the words which are not having importance, or the words which are extraordinary being used. Don't try to use the verbs which are, for example, very difficult to understand or very easier. Means use those words which are being used in stories, or the reader who reads or goes through the story, he can understand easily. So this is very much important, the use of verbs, the action verbs. And after that, adverbs. When you are just writing the verse, but if you are using the adverbs along with them, these play a tremendous role in that. Like for example, when you are just he spoke something. So this is very normal, like for example. But if you use adverb with it, he spoke spontaneously. Yes. So when you are using accurate, proper adverbs, it will create action verbs more stronger for a reader to understand. So this thing is very much important for you to keep in your mind, that you have to be using proper or appropriate adverbs along with action verbs in a story. Let's talk about reflection. What do we understand, or what did we understand with this all about features of contemporary short stories? So first of all, you have to understand what kind of realistic short stories that you have ever gone through in your life. Maybe something that happened in your life, maybe something, any incident or anything that happened in your life. You can just talk about this. You can discuss with your family members, you can discuss it with your friends, even you can discuss it with your classmates as well. And one more thing, there are many magazines, and there are many newspapers, and every day they have different sort of magazines or different sort of stories you can just go through. Even real life stories, you can just go through the television, the news, in the newspaper, the real news you can find. So this is all about something that you can find easily around you. So something that is very much important for you to just get yourself into that. If you will get yourself involved into learning of this, you will start learning by yourself. Okay, now let's talk about the reflection. The page number 5 and 6 of this book. If you just go through 5, 6 and 7, the story is given, new world, that we will be continuing in the next class. First of all, you have to understand what are exactly the contemporary short stories, like having discussion with your friends, as I have told you all about that. And after that, what you will be doing, you have to be writing by yourself. In writing, what you need to be doing, you can start by your own creativity. You can put any sort of story of your life, of your friend, or anything that happened with you or with anyone, or whatever that you have learned from anywhere. You can just put that into the pages of the book or copy or something like that. You can just write. So just keep these things in your mind. First, whatever the incident, whatever that you are just putting into the story, introduction, then rising action, then climax, then resolution. keep these things in your mind and then start writing by yourself. Whatever you have discussed with your friends, with your family members, just try to put them into the page, and then your story starts to be developed, and then story is going to be done. So this is your home task that you can start doing by yourself, and then get your home tasks checked by your teacher. Thank you very much.